Good morning, my dear students. So, in the last two sessions, we have seen the soliloquy of Romeo, that is just 10 lines, and I asked you to read those lines and feel those lines as Shakespeare wanted the teenage lovers to do. Now, we go to the other side. So far, we have seen what were the feelings that made the heart of Romeo throb for Juliet. He has turned himself to a pilgrim and transformed her into a goddess, and the place that she stood a shrine. We stopped there. Now we are going to the other side. Let us see how Juliet's feelings match the feelings of Romeo. We have only 9 lines from Juliet, that is Act 3, Scene 2, lines 17 to 25. Just 9 lines. What a magic Shakespeare is weaving in these 9 lines. To understand these 9 lines, we have to know the background that made Juliet to make this soliloquy. So after the dance was over, Romeo goes to his goddess, to the shrine, and they have one of the sweetest conversations in literature. Maybe as usual, Juliet's mother was impatient for her daughter, teenage daughter was talking to a boy, unknown boy. So she asked the nurse to call her. The nurse comes and tells Juliet her mother wants her immediately. She obeys her mother and goes to her mother. And Romeo, who did not know who the girl was, asking the nurse, who is that girl? And she says, she is the daughter of that lady who called her, that is Capulet. Lady Capulet's daughter, only daughter. Now only he understands the girl for whom his heart throbbed was from the enemy camp. Now, Juliet also asked the nurse who that boy is. And nurse says, he is Romeo, the only son of Lord Montague. Juliet is surprised and she makes the statement, my only love sprung from my only hate. That is, Juliet's family hates Montague family, so hatedness. And this is the first time Juliet loves someone that happens to be his enemy. So, my only love springs from my only hate. Now, Juliet goes to her castle with her mother and nurse. Benvolio, Mercutio, and Romeo, they return to their house, castle. And just one word, hearing the murmur of Romeo in the Durbar hall, Tybalt, who was the cousin of Juliet, almost like her brother because she had no brother, that is, Tybalt was her mother's brother's son. So Tybalt, though he couldn't see the face of Romeo, could feel that was the sound of Romeo. Tybalt by nature is impulsive, aggressive and boy with querulous nature, fighting nature, wanted to fight with him, but Lord Capulet blocked him from fighting because Romeo at that time was the guest. A guest should never be insulted by the host in the host house. So they go. Now Romeo realizes he loved the girl from the enemy camp. Juliet realizes she loved a boy from the enemy camp. And at home, she is struggling to come to terms with the reality. Most quoted line from Shakespeare, all of you know, and all those who know English and literature know this line. Maybe they don't know where from this line come and who speaks. It is here. Juliet speaks. What is in a name? So she wants Romeo to change his name. So she is asking, why can't you change? Beautiful line. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not called a Romeo. This is a consolation. Romeo, change your name, but you remain the same boy I love. You change the name because that name is something so offensive. But you are so close to my heart, in my heart. Change. So beautiful line. Rose would smell as sweet, whatever name we give to the flower. And Romeo, his cousin Mercutio and intimate friend Benvolio, they return. It is still dark. But you know what happens? In the cover of darkness, Romeo escapes the company of Mercutio and Benvolio and runs to the castle of Juliet. And when he has come under the balcony of the castle, he heard Juliet speaks these lines. These lines. What is this line? What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not called Romeo. Change your name, change your name. So Romeo realized how much she felt for him. He goes up to the balcony, the support of the nurse, and first love at first sight. They speak for long, they pour out their hearts to each other. This is one side. And there they decide to get married. It was the virgin love on the part of Juliet. They decide to get married. And Romeo says he will go to Friar Lawrence, that is the priest who blesses the marriage. And Juliet tells she would send her nurse and her page Peter to Romeo to find out the time when she has to go to the church monastery of Friar Lawrence. That agreement is over. And that they get fixed. The blessing of the marriage takes place at 9 o'clock in the morning. Friar fixed it. He was shocked. But as a priest, he had only good intentions. He thought marrying these two teenagers from rival families, the families would get united. Because Munde has only one son, Romeo, and he has no other sibling. Capulet has only one daughter, Juliet, no other sibling. So it is so natural, once the children get married, the parents would come together. This was the prayer and wish of Friar Lawrence. Many times he tried, but he couldn't cut ice with them. He thought the best occasion. So marriage. Now, Tybalt, who was still upset with Romeo's presence, challenges Romeo. And as he comes out challenging, he meets Benvolio and Mercutio. Benvolio and Mercutio could not stand Tybalt challenging, insulting, abusing Romeo. So they also draw their sword. So they start fighting. Tybalt and Mercutio begins to fight, dueling. Romeo comes, he draws his sword, he tries to pacify them. Because now Tybalt is his brother-in-law. Benvolio and Mercutio could not realize why Romeo is behaving so strange. He is pacifying them. But as he was pacifying them, Tybalt passes his rod under the arms of Romeo and stabs Mercutio to death. Mercutio dies shortly, his blood smells, and Romeo becomes wild. He tried to compose himself. Now Tybalt challenges Romeo. Romeo advises him not to challenge, not to fight, but impetuous Tybalt couldn't be advised. He takes sword, they fight and fight and fight. Finally, Romeo stabs Tybalt to death. The news spread like wildfire. Almost all the important people in the place come. Both the ladies cry loudly for justice. Prince also comes there. The prince, who is supposed to give the final verdict, the prince comes, and only living man in the company, Benvolio, gives the real picture of the incident to Prince Escalaos. His name is Escalaos. And finally, to cut our story short, Escalaos, the prince, passes the judgment that though Romeo killed Tybalt, death for death is the punishment. Taking into account his age as a young boy, and again the fact that had not Romeo killed Tybalt, Tybalt would have killed Romeo. Death sentence he is dilating to exile. Romeo is exiled from Verona. Next day he shouldn't be seen in Verona. He has lost the right to live here. Now, Juliet, who was awaiting the arrival of Romeo, her husband now, gets the news from nurse that Romeo in a duel killed Tybalt. Juliet suddenly becomes wild with anger. Tybalt was almost her brother because first cousin, as she had no other brother, he was brother for her, and he calls Romeo treacherous to kill her brother. And the nurse tries to pacify her, saying all the background, had he not killed Tybalt, Tybalt would have killed Romeo. That is there. Now, Romeo, immediately after stabbing Tybalt to death, Benvolio, the surviving member of the friends, advised him to run and escape, and Romeo escaped into the monastery of Friar Lawrence. Lawrence sheltered him there. And Juliet realizes Romeo is exiled. When he is exiled, that was almost like death sentence to Juliet. She wondered whether she would be able to meet him once, talk to him once, listen to him once. Now there comes a letter from Romeo to nurse, who hands over the letter to Juliet, who reads that Romeo before dawn has to escape from the place, go to Mantua. He has been exiled to a nearby place called Mantua before it is dawn. Before leaving for Mantua, he would be coming to meet Juliet and bid her farewell. So this message gives some consolation to Juliet that she is getting a chance to meet her husband, and she is very anxious. Every minute that she waits for the arrival of Romeo appears to be just like an age. Such is the intensity of the feeling in that teenage heartthrob, just married wife. Same day. So it is here Juliet is making this soliloquy, awaiting the arrival of Romeo to bid her farewell before leaving for Mantua, the place of his exilement. Now the lines, come night, we have this in Act 3, Scene 2, lines 17 to 25. She is addressing, come night, come Romeo, come thou day in night. So this is the feelings, that excruciating, painful feeling, the background of cousin Tybalt being killed and husband exiled to a foreign land from where whether he would return alive or not is unpredictable. Just to have a glimpse of him. Come night. So he can come only at night for two reasons. One thing, if he comes during daylight, his life is in risk. One thing, he is exiled, so he shouldn't be in the land. Second, if any member of Capulet family sees him on the way, they will definitely kill him because they don't know he is the husband of their daughter Juliet. Come Romeo, then you come in the cover of darkness, in the protection of darkness. My dear Romeo, you come. First let night come, then you come protected in the darkness of the night. Come, come, Romeo, you come, thou day and night. How beautiful, how deep is the expression, thou day in night. My dear Romeo, you are my day, you are my light, you are my life, you are everything for me in this world. And my life is in terrible confusion. I have betrayed my parents who were arranging her marriage with the prince without their knowledge, in her impetuosity of the teenage heart, she married secretly Romeo. So I am in confusion. I have committed a great crime that betrayed my parents. So I am in darkness, in confusion. Romeo, you are the only light before me in that darkness of confusion. You come to me, my only consolation, come to me, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night. Again, personification, we have seen lovers love to personify night because lovers love to meet at night and darkness. Thou wilt lie upon the wings of night. Here night is personified into a bird, and you come by the wings of night. Bird symbolizes speed. It is from bird we invented the technology of aeroplane. You come on the wings of bird. That is, come fast, don't delay anywhere. Once the darkness envelops the earth, gives you protection, come immediately so that I can see you, we can spend more time. Wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's black night. You are whiter. Romeo also used the same imagery. Snow white trooping with a black cross. Here she says, whiter than new snow. There is Snow White girl. Here, still you are whiter than, say, innocent. You are so innocent. You are purity. You are immaculate. Whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Raven is a black bird in the family of crow, and asking him to come on the wings of that black bird. My dear students, maybe at a PU level, it may be too much for you. Here it is, the expression of Juliet is very ominous. Ominous means appachakuna. She is asking him to come on Ravan's back. Ravan is a black bird, and Ravan is associated with death. Ravan is a bird that feeds on dead bodies, carrions. So, the imagery of death Juliet is bringing, or that imagery is developing in her mind, that is going to be very ominous. So, Ravan's back. Now, she falls in love with the night because she wants the support of night for her Romeo to come to her. Come, gentle night. So, night is called gentle night. Come, loving black-browed night. Gentle night, loving night, black-browed night. She is giving all the epithets, adjectives to night, because she falls in love with the night, because it is this night that has to bring Romeo to her. Give me my Romeo. You please come. Give me my Romeo. Nothing else I want from you. Just give me my Romeo. That's enough. Nothing I want from you. Just one favor, my dear night, gentle night, loving night, bring me my Romeo. So this is the ardent prayer Juliet makes to night, glorifying night, loving night, attributing wonderful qualities to night. Just get the favor of the night to bring Romeo to her. Let us see how he comes. Please read these lines. We stop it here. We complete the poem in our next session. Thank you.